Welcome to Gion Corner in Kyoto, Japan. We have arrived at the Gion Corner Theatre. Here, in the theatre entrance, enjoy the exhibits and images about maiko entertainers. Learn about their splendid hairstyles, accessories, and kimono. Find out why the Gion area was called Hanamachi. Here at the Gion Corner Theatre, we will show you the traditional arts and entertainments of Japan.
おおきにおいでやす。最後までどうぞゆっくり見とくれやす。
Origins of the tea ceremony, called chado in Japanese, go back to the 12th century, when Zen Buddhist priests drank tea to stay awake while meditating. Then, in the 16th century, the priest Zenrikyu formalized the practice into the wabi-cha ceremony. This was based on the principle that true beauty is found through simplicity. The Japanese people in general instinctively identified with the ceremony's aesthetics of calmness, grace, and austerity. Different tea ceremony schools have since created variations in technique, but all respect Zenrikyu's essential principles. The koto, a 13-stringed instrument, came to Japan from China about 1,300 years ago. It was first used for imperial court music, part of an ensemble of instruments. The tones of the koto's classical style are still appreciated for their noble sound. In recent years, the instrument has been combined with more Western-style instruments to great success. Kado, flower arranging, also known as ikebana, is part of a long tradition in Japan. Arranging altar flowers in vases was practiced as far back as the 6th century to honor ancestral spirits or the Buddha. Modern arrangements can be very ostentatious, but in 16th century Japan, the more simple, natural, and symbolic style was developed for use in the tea ceremony. The word kagaku means literally elegant music. 1,200 years old, kagaku was either performed as an ensemble of instruments by itself or performed together with classical dance. Kagaku was formed from 3 traditions of music, one from China's Tang Dynasty, one from Korea, and another from Japanese Shintoism. Kagaku eventually disappeared in China, but having arrived in Japan in the 8th century, flourished in Japan's court and among the aristocracy, especially from the 10th to 12th centuries. Performances were given at imperial banquets and at shrines to accompany ceremonial rites. Kagaku musicians have always come from a very few select hereditary guilds or families. In the late 19th century, the 3 remaining guilds all moved to Tokyo and now play as members of the Imperial Palace Music Department. Due to such exclusivity, gagaku music is rarely heard outside Japan's imperial court and has never become popular in wider society. So this Gion Corner performance represents a special opportunity. Kyogen, meaning literally mad words or wild speech, is a kind of comic theater, performed during the interludes or between different no plays. No and kyogen are two of Japan's four forms of classical theater, the other two being kabuki and bunraku. While no and kyogen developed together, their styles are complete opposites. For example, no is musical in nature, while kyogen relies on dialogue. The light-hearted style of kyogen draws humor from real life and is spoken in exaggerated colloquial language. As such, it is very different to the serious, more reverent symbolism of no theater. Kyogen actors exaggerate their movements and use dramatic facial expressions compared to the stylized, measured movements of no players in their rigid masks. As well as the wild dialogue, kyogen players sometimes dance or perform acrobatic stunts. Slapstick and satire, too, can be elements of their shows. It may be imagined that this comic relief was intended to appeal to lower social classes. However, this was not the case, and kyogen was an important part of a samurai's education. The kyogen art form dates back to the early 14th century, and its primitive origins to several centuries earlier, probably to dances used for harvest festivals. In modern times, the plays and acting traditions are continued by the Okura and Izumi schools. Next, enjoy the grace and beauty of kyo-mai dance, as performed by apprentice geisha called maiko. The name maiko is derived from two words, one meaning dance, the other girl. The word kyo-mai refers to Mai dance as developed in Kyoto. Mai dance is one of two Japanese dance traditions. The other is called odori, a style which goes back to the 17th century and which employs the grand dramatic expressions used in kabuki theater. Mai dance, on the other hand, is far less expressive and is more influenced by no theater. Kyo-mai originated in the western part of Japan in the 17th century and adopted the elegance and sophistication of imperial court manners. It has a more subtle style that is better appreciated at close quarters. As such, kyo-mai is a dance intended for smaller interiors, performed on tatami mat floors instead of large stages. See for yourselves, such gentle, graceful actions can only really be appreciated when seen close up. Every slight gesture is rich in meaning. Gion is the traditional home of the maiko. Maybe, just maybe, you will see a maiko making her way along the streets of Gion. But here, at the Gion Corner Theatre, you have an opportunity to view a real maiko performing real kyo-mai dance. A rare privilege indeed. In the foyer of the theatre, there are explanations about the maiko's kimono and wigs. Also, the different seasonal colors used for the hair accessories are on display. Bunraku puppet plays developed over several centuries in Japan from two popular traditions, ancient ningyo puppetry and jorui, narrative chanting. Puppetry traditions can be traced back to the 11th century, but the joruri storytelling probably began with traveling narrators in the 15th century. these performers sang the stories they narrated. The combination of Ningyo Jo-ruri seems to have begun in the 17th century, when a narrator called Takemoto Gidayu opened his own theater in Osaka in 1684. Gidayu added the talents of two other theatrical masters. One, a brilliant puppeteer. The other, a popular playwright called Chikamatsu Monzaemon. Their combination was a formula for success, and Bunraku gained huge popularity. Gidayu's shows, which bore his name, were based on the lives of the local merchant classes. With their emotional themes, typically tales of conflicting love and duty, the Gidayu Bushi soon became far more popular than other, more sophisticated entertainments. The puppets themselves are different to puppets developed in other parts of the world. Each single puppet requires 3 operators, each responsible for manipulating different limbs. If the puppet is to appear to move naturally, the puppeteers must work in close harmony in one fluid motion. In modern times, the skills of the puppeteers continue to astound, and the melodrama still retains its popular power. In 2003, Bunraku was entered onto the list of UNESCO World Intangible Heritage. So far, you have spent your time as an audience. In our final scene, you are invited to join a special gathering. You are invited to follow the Way of Tea, or wabi-cha. In a room next to the theater, you can learn the secrets of the ceremony and experience a profound sense of inner calm. The master offers green tea with a gentle bow. Chado etiquette is explained, and the mood is cordial. Afterwards, you can also purchase the essential tools and ingredients for refining your technique back home. Would you care for a bowl of Kyoto's authentic matcha green tea? Please join the Gion Corner tea ceremony.
「いかがどしたか？京都にお越しのときは、祇園コーナーに来とくれやす。おおきに。」
We hope you enjoyed our show. When you come to Kyoto, please visit Gion Corner Theatre. Thank you very much.